Hey guys, like I promised, here's a requested video. For this one, you guys wanted to do like a speed paint, but you wanted me to actually explain what I was doing. So this is going to be like a walkthrough of a portrait I did of a girl named Nikki. I was inspired by a photo her hairstylist Neil took of her after he did her hair, and he does some awesome stuff, like some really pretty, crazy colors and fades, stuff like that. So there's a link to his Instagram if you guys want to check that out. Anyway, let's get started. Okay, the first and most important thing to do when drawing someone's portrait is to lay down shapes. And everyone's head and face have different shapes. So for this one, I'm drawing sort of like a tilted teardrop shape, and that's going to be the base of which I draw everything else on top of. You also see that I drew what kind of looks like a skull, and that's for placement. That lets me know where to put the eyes, the nose, and everything else. So when I have that laid out, I start drawing the initial sketch. For me, the initial sketch is where I draw out all the details that I want in the final drawing, like her facial features or her hair. And I do this in red because red tends to blend well with a lot of colors that I use, and it also blends well with skin tones. And since my sketch sometimes shows in the final artwork, it looks better than if I were to use like a black or a blue or a darker color, and that would muddy the skin. And here where I'm sketching out her hair, I'm not trying to be exact. I'm not sketching out everything exactly like the picture has it because I'm not trying to aim for photorealism. I want it to be stylized, so I'm sketching just the basic shape of it, kind of just mimicking the shape. I'm not doing it exact. I'm not looking for every strand of hair and trying to copy it. Next, I lay down the base colors. And the fastest and easiest way for me to do this is just to use the lasso tool and fill in the area with the paint bucket tool. Since her hair also has a lot of dark tones to it, I also add a dark base as well. As I'm drawing, I start to see that in the picture she has a lot more dark greens and black in her hair than she does the bright green streaks. So to save time, I color correct and make all the colors in her hair darker by using the hue and saturation. Line art! Here I just start to go over my initial sketch with the actual colors, and these will be my final clean lines. So these will be the lines that you see when the whole drawing is done. And when I do line art, I like to do different colors for different areas. So, like you see, her eyeliner is black and her eyebrows are black. But for her skin, where I'm lining where it's showing her skin, I like to use a lighter color, something less harsh. And I just think that it looks nicer than me outlining it in black. Not that you can't outline in black. If you want a more comic book feel, you can give everything a more harsher outline and darker shadow. Next, I add cell shading. And cell shading is a type of shading that has a sharp, defined edge. And I do this by drawing a shape on another layer and then lowering the opacity. I also added soft shading, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's a shading that has a more smooth edge. It blends. It kind of like gradiates into the next color. Now I'm working on cleaning up and adding details. So I'm erasing any stray lines that I see, and stuff like parts of the undersketch that I missed, or maybe I have some color out of the lines or something like that. In detail, I'm adding all the little strands, and I'm adding highlights and shadows, and some parts I'm blending in to the others, like making it fade, kind of like an ombre. I also take this time to correct any mistakes that I made in the anatomy. So I had made her chin too small before and kind of just stretched it out a little bit. That's what I like about digital art. I can fix any of the mistakes. Then I'm adding darker lines to give definition to all the waves in her hair. Filters. I love filters. I like to add different textures and overlaying colors to my art, like different little bright spots here and there. Now I have to start deciding on what background color I'm going to use. And since her hair is green, I choose pink because pink is a lighter form of red, and red and green are across from each other on the color wheel, which means they are complementary colors, which means they will always match together, even though red and green to me look ugly together. It's kind of like that Christmas darkness, but different tones of it can match, can look better together. And again, adding more filters because I have a problem. And I'm pretty much done with the drawing now, just adding some last minute things. But it took me about an hour and a bit, an hour and a couple of minutes maybe, all done in Paint to Slide. Thanks for watching.